show where we talk about movies and we don't care about spoiling them because it's the Spoilercast. And I am Tobias as always, and as always I have my sister and trusty co-host with me, Rebecca. Hello, hello? Hold on. No, they can't hear you. Why not? I don't know. Now they can.
Hello.
Hello. Well, if you're listening to this, you'll probably hear her because of editing. But if you're watching this live on YouTube, as we do send this live on YouTube every Thursday, you didn't hear that first, but now you hear it. So that's good.
All I said was hello. That's fine.
That's fine. If you are watching us live on YouTube, or you're watching it just in the YouTube archives, you are able to just listen to us on every major platform there is. Podcasting platform, that is.
Yes.
YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, all of them. Just type in the Spoilercast and you'll find us.
Or check the links in the description.
Check the links, the link tree in the description, yes. You can also support the show by going over to our Patreon page, and for as little as $3 a month, you get an extra episode every week where we talk more about movies. And you also get to choose what movies we talk about on the free episode. And for if you go even higher than that, you'll also get exclusive videos. You get commentary tracks. Sometimes they're on the $3 level, sometimes they're on the $10 level. That's just how it is. And you'll also, other than getting a bunch of stuff, you'll also support the show and you'll help us grow the show. Enough shilling. Let's get on with the show. So we chose The French Connection this week.
Yes.
Mainly because it was one of the first time we had to cancel a show. I don't remember why.
Me neither. It was back in March.
I was sick or something. I don't remember. But we had to cancel the show that we had planned to talk about The French Connection. But we had to cancel it. But now we first talked about watching another horror movie. But we've been doing a lot of horror movies lately. And we're going to talk about a horror movie next week, obviously, because we're watching the new Conjuring movie tomorrow in the theater.
First theater visit of the year.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
And the first time since Tenet.
Yeah, well, for me, it's the first time since...
Oh, yeah, that Swedish film.
The Other Side, Andra Sidan, in November. You and I actually watched the Peninsula after Tenet, though. That was in August. Tenet was like in July.
Oh, that's true.
But it's been well over 6 months for both of us, which has never in my life happened before. I mean, at least since I gained autonomy and could go to the cinema by myself. I've always gone at least 4 or 5 times a year, at least.
Yeah, I think I've been a gold member at the local cinemas for well over 6 years.
Oh yeah, you're probably I
10.
I've been we got our membership cards in 2010 on for my 20th birthday. I actually remember this. You bought us tickets for Tron Legacy, since I'm a big Tron fan.
Preview as well, wasn't it?
But it was the premiere.
Or something, yeah.
It was the big premiere. And we, for years, had just not had membership cards because we thought, nah, it's no use. But then it's just like, well, it doesn't cost you anything, so why not be members? So we got membership cards, and after that, we hit the gold level, at least I did, in September 2013. So from December 2010, it took us a couple of years to hit gold membership. Because back then we didn't go. We could what
levels are? I don't remember what the levels are, but you have to see at least 6 movies a year or something.
You have to see to hit gold level. You have to watch 10 movies in a year.
10 movies, right? So
at least back then.
Month,
now it's one each month basically, but you also get some extra points if you buy candy and whatever.
Yeah.
And back then we didn't watch 10 movies a year. It was before it was because of that though that we started watching more movies. I remember that.
Yeah,
Um,
because we realized that we can get free shows eventually if we did.
yeah, you got free tickets. I mean, you got preferential treatment when it came to sneak previews and shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've seen a bunch of movies for free very early just because we've been gold members.
Yes, yes.
SF.
Which is now called
Swedish
just
film.
Swedish film.
Something.
It's just called Swedish film. Yes, it's
Yeah.
based from Swedish film industry, but now it's just called
Yeah.
Filmstaden or Film
Right.
City, whatever.
So yeah, since 2013 we've been gold members, which means we've seen approximately 10 movies a year.
Oh yeah, I
At
think
least
I think I
more.
peaked in like 2015 or 16. I think right before I started making videos properly. I'd
That
seen.
year we like watched 3 movies in a day sometimes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I still remember the Evil Dead / Star Trek Into Darkness evening.
Right.
One amazing movie, one terrible movie.
Yeah.
No, but I think I had like 40 movies in a year. I don't remember which. I think it was 2015 or 2014.
That had to be like the film festival as well, right?
No, it was just I watched every movie. They have the summer festival where they premiere a bunch of movies. They don't do that anymore, not as many at least. But there's like all the big blockbusters. Like I think I watched like 15 big blockbuster premieres in like 2 months. And then there's the rest of the year.
It's like, yeah, that's a bunch of movies.
That's a bunch of movies.
I can't even calculate that.
Well, there's more than
Either
one
way.
week. Either way, sorry. Yeah, we're just very, 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 very excited to go back to the cinema.
Yes.
Very excited.
Very.
So instead of talking about another horror movie, we want to talk about a classic, and one we had missed before, and it's The French Connection.
I do believe this was a Patreon request, but I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know if it was. I tried to find where someone would have requested it, but I didn't find it.
I don't think we would have thought of this movie otherwise.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Either
We're
way,
talking about it.
We're talking about The French Connection. I had seen it before. I'm pretty sure you hadn't.
No, I don't think I've
know
even
about
heard of it.
Okay.
No.
Well, let's start then. What was your opinion on The French Connection?
At first, I was kind of confused, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it kind of throws you straight into the middle of the movie, it feels like.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
I didn't really, I didn't know what was happening. But after, 30, 40 minutes, okay, now I'm catching
You're
up.
kind of following along, yeah. And
Yeah.
that's sort of the point, from what I understand.
Okay.
Because it's based off of a real case.
Yeah, I figured that much.
Yeah, that they wrote a book about it in like the mid '60s.
Yeah.
So it, and
But I did like it, to be honest. It's intriguing, a bit confusing, and a bit hard to follow along sometimes. But it's exciting.
Yeah, I think though.
Almost.
I think though the most, because I'm even after having watched it twice, I think the confusing part is like they don't really tell you or show you when Popeye and Cloudy gets like on the case.
Yeah.
Because they literally don't. They just go to a bar where they know like scumbags hang out, and they case the place to see if they find anyone who looks suspicious. That's after the beginning when Cloudy gets cut by the knife. Roy Scheider. He says, "Let me buy you a drink," when they're about to go home for the day. And the whole thing when he says, "I just want to go home. I got cut today."
Yeah.
That part. And they go to that bar, and Popeye just wanted to go there to see if he could find someone that looks suspicious. And that's when they
that's
see.
why he's talking about the guys by the table in the back.
He keeps asking, "Who are they?" And they recognize some of them because they are like,
scumbags.
They're known. Yeah, they're known in the circles. And they pinpoint Sal Boca, who then, so they start tailing him like, what is he doing here? He owns a sandwich shop. How is he spending hundreds of dollars on bottle service at this club?
Yeah, with those rich guys.
Yeah, and the what's his name? Lee Weinstock, who's the guy with the money later on. I think he's there. So they start tailing them, and they realize that, aha, we were onto something. Which is like, that's not how police work should work, or at least not nowadays. But maybe they did that back then. I don't know.
I mean, back then they were trying to find bad guys, probably.
Yeah.
And I mean, because I kind of thought that the first dude they chase in the opening, literally.
Yeah. When he's wearing the Santa suit.
Yeah. And the hot dog stand outfit.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I thought because they're after him for something.
Drugs
And something else. Did you spend time did you pick your feet?
Well, yeah, that's a thing that Popeye says. It was the thing that the real Popeye. Well, he didn't say that specifically, but it's like a good cop, bad cop thing.
Okay.
He asks you a strange question, and you're like, well, what are you talking about? So that the other can say, hey, just tell me where you hid the stuff or whatever. Like, okay. It's to throw the guy off.
Okay.
That's why the police commissioner asks him as well. He asks Popeye.
Or is he referring to... When he says that he shivved someone as well, is he referring to...
Cloudy. Roy Scheider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
There.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, they can't bust him for it. I mean, it's assaulting a police officer.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, I find it interesting, but it's a bit confusing and it's very fast paced.
Yes, and that's I wasn't
I'm not
sure
if I oppose it though. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because I think a lot of people would say it's funny that you say it's fast paced because I think a lot of people nowadays would say that it's very slow paced. It's a lot of standing around, watching other people, walking, sitting in cars.
Yeah, but they're always on edge. Like something's always happening though. Even though they're just waiting for someone to do something, you get so much information from that scene.
Yeah. And the best part is that they have no idea what's going on. We as an audience know a little more. We know that the French guys are there to deliver something obviously illegal. We're not sure exactly what yet. So we know more than they know. But they know Popeye and Cloudy, they know something. Something's fucking going on with this guy. With Frog Number 1, as they call him.
Oh, yeah.
It's...
That was a bit throwing me off as well, because all of a sudden they spoke French. I was like, wait, I have to check the subtitles. What the hell is going on? I mean, I know some French, but I do not know what they were saying.
No.
I have barely conversational French left.
Barely. I can read it, but I can barely speak it.
No.
Anyway, yeah. So it's funny that you actually found it fast, because I thought you might find this a bit boring since it's just people walking around. But yeah, like you said, like there's always something going on. They're always on edge.
Information of some sort.
Yeah.
Like even when they were sitting in that car and just watching
the other car,
Boca in his sandwich shop.
Oh yeah.
Shop or whatever. They were discovering that they're packaging stuff.
Yeah, they're putting stuff in the newspapers.
They're figuring out costumes to disguise themselves. Because she came out with the wig, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
No, I like that it compared to some older movies, it was very fast paced, but it sometimes was a bit too fast, I guess, because I did get like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not quite following along.
I looked away like for I don't know 15 seconds. And all of a sudden, they were just running around. I lost him. Wait, what happened? I was like,
Who are they chasing?
You have to watch this movie. You can't just scroll your phone and like, okay. Oh, okay. You got to watch the movie. Because there was no dialogue. I just missed an entire chapter of the movie with no dialogue except for, I'm looking for the guy.
I sort of did that when they, when he runs after the dude on the train.
Oh yeah.
The first time, the older, more distinguished gentleman, French guy. I got a bit lost there when the French guy walks off.
Yeah, and then
he follows,
walks off,
and then all of a sudden he's on again. I'm like, wait, what just happened?
That scene is
How did he get back on the train?
Oh yeah, that's also because he knows that the police is trailing him, but he's not sure. and we see Popeye who's trying to hide, and then back and forth, and then he finally realizes, oh, that's the guy who's following me. So
Yeah.
then he gives him the whatever it's called. I give him
slip or something.
the slip. Yes, thank you. It's from Shaun of the Dead. Wasn't that hard?
Right.
I give him the slip. And then let's talk about the scene that everyone talks about when they talk about the French Connection, and let's see, because it's the one scene that everyone remembers. Like, ooh, it's infamous for this scene. I just want to know if that's your favorite scene. The car chase, because people usually reference that because it's the big like action set piece. It's not my favorite scene in the movie, but it is a good scene.
It's not my favorite either, to be honest.
No.
I really like the final chase on the train though. When was not the final chase, sorry. With the second guy on the train when he's been shooting at him with the sniper.
Oh yeah, well that's I guess it's part of the car chase.
Yeah, but that specifically, like
yeah.
when they're on foot, I like that bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if the cars really stuck with me.
No, but it is infamous because it was filmed without proper. They didn't have the proper permits to do it. They had help by the NYPD because they were like redirecting traffic and shutting down streets so they could film it. But the big crash when he crashes into the car, it's like a van coming from the side. That wasn't actually supposed to happen. He was just a guy who ran into
that the police obviously didn't manage to.
Yeah. What's the main character's name? Popeye. What's his real name?
Yeah.
It's standing. I can't remember. I don't have it in front of me.
Jimmy Doyle or.
Yeah, Doyle. Yeah, Jimmy Doyle.
Doyle is one, right? Yeah.
What's his name?
Jimmy Doyle.
No, Gene Hackman. Thank you.
Oh, you mean the actor?
Realized. Yeah, I said. Yeah, what's his real name?
Yeah, but I thought you meant the character.
Oh, okay, no, Gene Hackman. Sorry. So Gene Hackman was driving the car. And got hit by that car, and he just kept driving like at least out of frame, so they used it. So that's kind of why the movie's known for that scene because it's very dangerous. And I mean it's a good chase scene, but I mean I've seen better, especially like in newer movies. But it's still an exciting scene because he's following the train and. It's once again shot very fast paced, so
yes,
I do enjoy it, but it's not my favorite. My favorite is probably, I like the ending. The when he's walking alone in the derelict building,
bandit warehouse thing.
Yeah, and he's chasing the French guy.
Shoot someone else.
Yes. Which I was like,
who is that?
Yeah, because he's not in the movie a lot. He's one of the FBI agents that they have to have along for the case.
Oh,
and he's only in the movie like for a few scenes before that. So when he shot him, I was like, that's not a bad guy. I know that guy. And then he says, yeah, it's whatever his name is, Brundig or Brunderly or something.
Something, yeah.
I was like, and then he just, I don't care. I know the French guy's in here somewhere.
Yeah, he's obsessed basically.
At that point, because it's been like at least a couple of months has gone by, which it doesn't feel like, but it has, because they had warrants to wiretap for 60 days, and before he gets shot at by the sniper, they get taken off the case because they don't have warrants anymore. That's what the police commissioners say when they're at the car crash place, the place where the cars crashed. So there's been at least 2 months of them just tailing these guys and finding basically nothing tangible other than a hunch.
Yeah.
So you can see why Popeye gets a little obsessed by it.
Sure.
And then there's this. That's just his, and I like that about the character. He's very very obsessive, and like very very focused. Even though he seems to be easily distracted sometimes, he's still very focused on his work.
On that one thing, though.
Yeah. There's this thing every time he like spots. There's this like musical sting whenever he like gets a hunch or whenever he sees something. It's in the club when he starts watching that table and he watches Sal Boca and you just hear a funny in the music, and it
Yeah.
just zooms in on him, zooms in on them, and he's like, "You know those guys?" He asks Cloudy, because
It's a
that's when
bit
he
of
gets
a.
the hunch.
It's almost a nee, but not
Oh,
really.
no, it's just creeping in there,
Even
and
like the
it's
same effect.
oh yeah, sure, yeah. And then in the ending when he's walking around there, it's constantly there in the soundtrack because he
Yeah.
is. This is it. Like he's gonna get this guy after months of work, and then spoilers, he doesn't. The movie
No.
ends so like abruptly. Like, oh no. Well, they got this guy and this guy, but the French guy he disappeared. They think he lives in France somewhere.
But they do like they get the drugs and stuff, right?
Yeah, they see
'Cause they empty the car and
they
then they
seize
give
the
it back.
car. Well, we don't know if they get the drugs, but because they put the money in the car, the drugs were hidden in the garage
Oh,
for
right,
pickup
right. The
later.
money was in the car, right? Yeah.
So they shoot Sal. I think he's the one that gets shot by Cloudy. It's so fast I didn't
Yeah.
really see who it was he shot, but he shot someone. Lee Weinstock got his charges like dropped, and yeah, Cloudy and Popeye gets taken off the
Yes.
narcotics division.
Yeah.
And the last thing you see is like, oh, the French guy, whatever his name was, Frog Number One, disappeared. We believe he lives in France now. It's just like, oh fuck. And that's the final shot when after killing an FBI agent, Popeye just walks off saying, "I know it's in here somewhere," and just walks out of frame basically.
He just continues.
Yeah, because he can't stop. He can't stop. It's very very strong. Why do you say it in English? Bildspråk. Image language. I don't
Imagery?
know. Imagery. Yeah, imagery probably. Yeah, imagery.
I guess.
And well, I wait. Have you seen The Exorcist?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's the same director, and I mean, if you know that, it makes sense because he's very good at like striking imagery.
Yeah.
He made this.
I mean, it's been a
2
while since I
years
saw The
before.
Exorcist, but yeah, it is striking.
Yeah, very striking. So yeah, I like when I first watched it. I mean, this time around because it's been years since I saw it. I was like, yeah, it's pretty good, but I don't get why it's so beloved. It has a 94 on Metacritic. But then like I watched
Won
it
5 Oscars.
yeah, I know, yeah. And I watched it for the second time this morning because I woke up early. And I've had the whole day to like think about it and just like no, I get it. Like when you're watching it, you're so in it, so you're like, oh, it's a police procedural. But then you start thinking about the music, you start thinking about the acting, you start thinking about just like you mentioned the intensity of the movie, which
Yeah.
you don't think is gonna be there because it's just people walking around, but it's super intense.
Indeed.
Intense in a way that like modern movies aren't. I mean, modern movies can be very intense, but if you if you'd make this movie today, it would have been very. I think a lot of people would say it's boring because it's just people walking around or sitting in
Yeah.
cars.
You know what it reminds me of, sort of, but like when you said it like that, if you tried to do it nowadays, it would be kind of like dragged across concrete.
Yeah, but even that isn't as intense as this is.
No, but it would probably have more of that feeling
Yeah,
because I don't think we can convey that intensity anymore without actual bullets flying.
yeah, exactly.
I don't know if anyone is capable of that anymore.
Yeah, I would say Dragged Across Concrete gets pretty close.
Yeah, but it's
But-
also dragged across concrete.
Yeah, and it's also like half an hour longer.
Yeah.
Because that guy, S. Craig Zoller, his style is not intense. His style is very
No.
methodic and slow paced.
Yes.
So it is different. But yeah, there is
some
a likeness to it. Yeah, there
Yeah.
is similarities. Yeah, good catch, good call. Also, if you
Aren't you
haven't,
proud of me?
yeah, if you haven't checked that out, check out our episode where we talk about Dragged Across Concrete, one of the better movies of last year. I guess technically 2019, but still,
Yeah, technically.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in
It's
our
somewhere. It's on
repertoire.
YouTube. I don't think that's not on
Yeah,
Spotify. It's before we were on Spotify and iTunes, so it's on
probably.
YouTube. But check it out
So
there.
check out the YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what
Um.
I liked? A trivia that I found.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, a lot of cops were in this movie, like playing extras.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The cop
Like
who gets
in the
shot.
entire bar.
Yeah. There's a bunch of cops there,
Yeah,
and
to make it like authentic, sort of.
the cop on the subway or whatever that train, the L train or whatever it's called, the train.
Mm-hmm.
The cop who gets shot is a real cop who had that job to like patrol the trains.
Yeah, he's a New York Transit Authority policeman, but
Yes,
he happened
transit.
to be a member of the Actors Guild as well.
Yeah, yeah. And another thing about that movie, the train conductor, they mention his name. I don't remember something. The guy who gets like a heart attack and that's why the train crashes.
Oh yeah.
He was the real train conductor on the day, because the actor didn't show up. So they were just like, "Well, you'll have to do it." He's like, "Oh, okay."
Just act scared and then have a heart attack. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, well, yeah. But all of those things, because they like use real policemen. I mean, even the real Cloudy and Popeye are in the movie,
Yeah,
but
they're extras as well.
they're
One of
extras.
them doesn't have a speaking line.
No, I
role.
think Popeye has a speaking line, but he's not called.
Yeah.
The Popeye wasn't. No, that was his real nickname, but he wasn't called Jimmy Doyle in real life. It was something else. I don't remember. Anyway, it adds to the reality and the kind of like semi documentary style that William Friedkin uses in this movie, because he had done a lot of documentaries before this. Like a lot of like scenes where they're just walking around in the streets. It's just them with a camera on the street, a lot of handheld, and you can almost see that people like looking into the camera because they're not extras. They're just people on.
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. It just adds to the realism. Like this takes place like over the Christmas New Year weekend. Well, like I guess into February because of how long it takes. But it starts around Christmas. So it's always super cold, and you can tell it's cold. Yeah. Not only because you can constantly see people's breath, and
like how people
they stand like this all the time.
Yeah, and they pull their coat closer and stuff.
It's the color scheme, and it looks cold all the time. Even when they're inside,
apparently
sometimes.
altered the color a bit though. To make it look
okay. Well, that makes
colder.
sense, to make it feel more cold.
Yeah. Or maybe that was. No, wait, that was for the 2009 Blu-ray release.
Oh,
before
okay.
that, maybe not. So I don't know what, because we saw it on Disney Plus. I'm not
we watched
sure
it on
which
Disney
one.
Plus. That's
It's
an HD version. It's I don't know.
Probably the Blu-ray.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think they just transfer a Blu-ray over on
but
Disney. But it
probably get that digital copy.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. Did they say what color? How they changed the color? Because this version was kind of bluish, I would say, for the most part.
Well, they made it to give it a colder look, so probably
it's probably that.
Yeah.
I wonder what the original looks like, or like an older DVD. I know a lot of the old posters were almost like brown in color, or like mustard colored.
Like, a lot of the posters are orange or yellowish.
Yeah, I wonder.
Which maybe just is a choice. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the posters are also drawings, technically.
Yeah, but I like that the official poster is when he shoots the French assassin in the back, and you don't even see Popeye in it barely. He's just a little black thing in the.
Yeah.
What you see
and
is
he's almost
guy being
collapsed.
shot.
Then, hey, ugh.
Yeah.
Love that.
It was someone pointed that out. I read some article that if the movie was made today, it would be Cloudy and Popeye like looking intense, and then a couple of guns and some cars in the background. Because make it look like an action movie.
Yes.
Because they have to sell it as an action movie, even though it's not an action movie. This is definitely not an action movie.
Drama.
It's drama / like thriller, I would say. I mean, no one shoots a gun until over an hour into the movie. The first time someone uses a gun, at least to shoot with, is when the assassin tries to shoot Popeye.
True.
Yeah.
According to IMDb, it's an action crime drama.
All right, sure. I mean, there is action in it towards the end. But it's
obviously.
definitely more, towards crime
It's more
drama.
drama and
Yeah.
crime, obviously. Yeah.
Was there anything about it you didn't like?
No, not really, to be honest. I mean, personally, some of the acting was a bit intense, maybe, but also considering when it's made, it's not intense because they could go even worse back in the 70s.
Oh, you mean they kind of overacted?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's just because I'm used to modern acting where you sometimes underact.
Yeah. Okay.
even.
Yeah.
But that was also like maybe it's just because the Popeye was supposed to be very intense. He just felt a bit extra. Maybe I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Sometimes it felt like it was too much. But also that could be the character. I mean, the real
Anyone in
Popeye was
specific, or
there. He probably
it's Popeye, specifically Popeye, who was, you felt was too
yeah,
much?
mostly yeah.
Okay. Yeah, probably. But I think that's a combination of the style and Gene Hackman, because he can be a little
Yeah,
much sometimes. I think he's a great actor, but sometimes it's just like, ugh, calm down.
And I mean, he had the real dude there, so maybe hearing everything and
Yeah.
like being told what exactly happened maybe just pumped him up and he went worse.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
uh,
surprise me.
yeah. Um, I don't really have anything. Maybe that, yeah, it's so weird to say about a movie about people standing around, but sometimes it goes so quick you might not be able to follow along unless you're intently watching the movie, which, I mean, you're supposed to, but like I said, I looked away for 10 seconds and I was like, well, what happened? I had to rewind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but that's not a bad thing. It was just a personal thing. Like, it's too fast. What's happening?
But that's again something that nowadays we're used to movies having like so much downtime that you can look away.
Yeah.
Back in the days, they didn't have that because you didn't have anything to be distracted by.
Yeah.
They didn't cater to the distractions.
No, they didn't pander to the audience.
No, they
Oh.
did what they wanted to do.
Yes, especially William Friedkin, who's known to be a very intense director. I don't know if you heard. I don't know if it is like a myth, but a lot of people have said it happened. It's in the Exorcist, when there's a scene like towards the middle where Karras, the priest, the young priest, is listening to Reagan's like backwards speaking.
Yeah.
And then a phone rings, and he reacts so like, oh my god, he gets so startled by the phone. And that's because it wasn't a phone ringing on set. It was Friedkin firing a shotgun in the room.
Oh no, yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a phone he was supposed to react to.
Yeah.
But I've heard that he like scared people
Oh yeah.
just to make them react properly. Well, as he wanted them to react.
To get the reaction he wanted, or like the scene where Reagan's mom, whatever her name is, when everything is flying around in Reagan's room and she gets knocked back into the wall. She was on like a pulley system with like a girdle that could pull her back.
Yeah.
And they pulled her too hard, so they just smacked her back against the wall. And when she screams, it's actually her screaming because she hurt her back. Like,
And he's
for
just
real.
keep rolling.
Yeah, they keep rolling, and they used that take in the movie. Which, even when you watch like interviews from like decades later, she still gets a little like, I didn't like that. It's not like, but it was a good scene. And she's like, yeah, it was a good scene, but I didn't like them using that scene. It was like,
No.
well, it was the right one to use. Sometimes
I mean,
directors have to be
nowadays
assholes.
they do use those kinds of scenes as well because I think it was in it's Leonardo DiCaprio in one of the movies.
Oh
where
yeah,
he's a slave
Django.
owner. Yeah,
Django
where
Unchained, when he
crushes
cuts
the
his
glass
hand.
in his hand. Yeah. They like ask, is it okay that we keep this scene,
Yeah.
or do you want to redo
Oh,
it?
Freaky didn't ask. He just, I'm gonna use this one. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I hurt
Okay,
myself.
we're
Good.
Proper reaction. Perfect.
Yeah. But I was also gonna say, yeah, they use that. Some filmmakers use those scenes, but other filmmakers would not even put their actors in those kind of situations. Oh, you have to be pulled back into a wall. Stunt person.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Unless the actor wants to.
Well, yeah,
nowadays.
sure. Like Keanu Reeves in John Wick.
Yes.
When they have to say, nope, You can't do it. I want to do
You're
it.
not allowed.
Let me do it.
Nope.
Nope. Or they take out all the glass from a scene and put in CGI glass
Oh yeah.
because he wants to do it.
They're like,
I want to
okay, but
smash the
then we
glass.
baby you.
Fair, yeah. That's the scene from the John. I don't know if we've talked about that, but in John Wick 3, when they're in the room with all the knives in the beginning, and they start smashing the display windows to get the knives, all that glass is fake because I mean they're smashing like 10 windows each, so makes sense.
Yes.
Anyway, back to French Connection. I gotta ask.
Yes.
Well, you know there's a sequel, right?
Yeah, because it started autoplaying after the movie was done.
And that's
I was like, wait, but it takes place in France. Is he chasing the frog number one? Oh, his name is Devereaux.
Devereaux, yes.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try and say that in French, to be honest.
Devereaux?
Devereaux, yeah, or something. Because he goes to France.
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen the sequel,
or is
but
it a separate one?
No, I'm pretty sure they're chasing the same guys, or at least chasing the drugs.
Yeah.
But I gotta ask, what did you think of the ending? Like, what did you feel like you were like? Was it like unsatisfactory or anticlimactic ending?
No, but I usually don't feel cheated by endings like that.
Oh, okay.
I'm okay with that, like whatever. But I know some people who hate those endings.
Oh yes, our father would hate this ending.
He would absolutely hate it.
Because, like we said, it ends on Popeye walking into the distance. You hear a gunshot, and then there's still frames of everyone, and they tell you, oh, everyone got away. Popeye and Cloudy were transferred, and the French guy disappeared.
Yeah.
What? And from what I know, there was no plans on making a second one because it took like 4 years before it came out, and it's with a different director.
Find it.
Because I'm guessing the book ends that way. I don't actually know. But I liked it because it felt more like because the movie I mean it isn't specifically about Popeye, but I mean he is the main character. So it's him we're focusing on, and from the very beginning, he has that intensity. He's constantly looking for something. He wants to, bust the bad guys. So if he caught the French guy, Devereaux, like he would have been like, yeah, we got him. On to the next one. It wouldn't have been like it wouldn't have satisfied him. So then it wouldn't have been satisfactory for the audience. This way, if there was no sequel, we're gonna have to do the sequel at some point. But if there was no sequel, let's say there is no sequel, then it's basically like Popeye went on forever. Like maybe it's like on a hopeless quest, but he has no other choice basically.
But it's like he will still do whatever he needs to do with every other case, but in the back of his mind, this will always be something he's searching for.
Yeah, it's kind of nihilistic. Like he will never catch that. He will never catch Devereaux. He will always be searching, which is kind of nice. It's kind of nice to see like a bad ending, in a way.
I'm looking at the sequel. The synopsis on IMDb is Popeye Doyle.
Yeah.
Popeye Doyle travels to Marseille to find Alain Charnier, French dude, the drug smuggler who eluded him in New York.
They talk about him as well, Charnier. Yeah. And he gets help from the gendarme, as they're called.
Yes.
I don't know what's the Metascore on that one.
68.
Okay, so still pretty high, but not 94 like the first one.
No, and it only got 2 nominations, no actual awards.
What were the nominations?
BAFTA for Best Actor. Golden Globes Best Actor, and Writers Guild of America Best Drama.
Okay. What were the? Let me see. What was the nominations for the first one? The French Connection.
We have them here somewhere. They're Best Picture.
Oh yeah.
Best
Best
actor, best
actor.
director, best writing, best film editing, best actor in supporting role, best cinematography, best sound.
Wait, so picture, actor, director, writing. That's the big. They won the big four in
Plus editing.
'72.
Yep.
What other movies were nominated for
I
best movie? Gee,
think we
isn't that
can check this right.
Godfather? Wasn't it '72? Or is that '73?
Um,
Uh,
no, Godfather was not. I think.
best
I think that was.
director. No, that was not that year. Yeah, but Stanley Kubrick was nominated for Clockwork Orange. Where's the best movie or actress? I can't find it.
They're in a weird order here.
Yeah, yeah.
Best Picture: Clockwork Orange, Fiddler on the Roof, Nicholas and Alexandra, and The Last Picture Show.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought it went up against The Godfather, and I was like, it's not that good.
The Godfather won, didn't it?
Yes, Godfather 1 and 2 won. Yeah. That's true, yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I got a little confused.
confused.
Yeah, still good movies, but yeah, I can see maybe I can see why it won then. Imagine a movie about a police guy winning today. That wouldn't happen.
Eight.
Let's talk about that a
Oh
little bit.
yeah, The Godfather is sorry, I just have to clear this up. It's credited as a 1972 movie, but it did won awards in 73.
Oh, right, because it's the year, and this was made in '71 or came out in '71, so it won in '72.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why I got confused. That's
Yes.
right. I know neither of us are very sensitive to stuff like this, but did you find it at all offensive that our hero is like a racist and a bigot?
Well, no, I didn't find it offensive, but I did question for a second, like, I wonder how it felt to film this.
Yeah.
If he felt bad having to be that bad
Yeah, and
towards them.
I wasn't sure what Gene Hackman's own politics were, but I read that he kind of cringed from time to time when he had to say
Oh, okay.
the N word and being an asshole basically.
Yeah.
And I
But at the
know
same
that
time, I mean, it is 70s, so it's not as um PC as it is today, but they were starting to become a bit PC at
yeah,
least.
yeah, and I mean Roy Scheider's character Cloudy even like points it out, like, yeah, I could have been a white guy, like, so
Yeah.
then you were
He's
trying
trying to like
and I read that
justify.
Lee Marvin, another like popular leading man from that time, he refused to play the lead role. He thought the script was good, but he like couldn't see himself play a policeman because he hated the police. So there's
Oh.
always been like a thing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, like, this movie could not have been made today.
No.
People would have. I mean, people questioned back in 2019, 2018, when the Spider-Man PS4 game came out. People questioned the fact that Spider-Man was helping the cops solve crimes.
They were?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there's articles about it. So
But
imagine
why?
because the police are authoritarian.
But
They abuse their power to prey
yeah,
on like
minorities,
minorities. Yes, thank you.
basically. But Spider-Man is a comic book written in
The '90s? Oh,
90s
sorry,
at least?
'70s.
No,
Sorry,
70s,
the
yeah.
'70s.
The Spider-Man I'm grown up with is from the 90s, I
Yes, it's
guess.
from
But
the
like the
'90s. Sure.
original magazines or comic books are from the 70s.
I think '70s, maybe even '60s.
So I mean, it's not that weird.
Yeah, and I mean,
You have to consider when things are made. You can't just say it has to be consistent with what today
yeah, but
is.
since it's a 2018 Spider-Man, they thought, oh, maybe he would be more of a vigilante than just help the cops out. But
I mean, sort of, but
yeah,
like, come on, it's still
I
still
I know, and I mean,
Spider-Man. He's
um,
always helped the cops, sort of, even though the cops don't want him to.
yeah, um, no, I'm just especially like what happened last year and everything. Like cops are not popular anymore. I mean, they haven't been for a long time, and obviously, even back then, some people didn't like them. I mean, other than criminals, of course. I don't think
Yeah.
criminals have ever liked cops.
No.
We kind of go against each other. Um,
It's called Cops and Robbers.
yeah. Um, but even I, who's always like respected law officers of the law, even I had like a hard time with a lot of the stuff that was going on last year. But it never bothered me like in movies or anything, unless you're playing bad cops. But then you're supposed to not like them.
Well, yeah, but because it's fiction.
Yeah, it's
like
fiction.
even if it's based on real events, it's still a fictionary tale technically, because you're retelling something with other means. It's not actually happening right then and there.
Yeah.
It's not real. Movies are fake.
Yeah.
You have to keep that in mind, even though it's based on true stories.
And in this specific story, even though he is kind of a racist sometimes, he is still like he's catching bad guys.
Yeah, he is doing his job and catching bad guys and getting rid of drug smugglers and killers.
Yeah. So
like,
at least that part's good. But I'm just wondering, I would love to see this with someone who was born like in the early 2000s. a Gen Zer.
A Zoomer?
Who's not like, oh, it's a really good movie. Just someone who, like, a regular person. I don't think they would like this movie.
No, considering what they're doing right now online, they would not approve of this.
No.
Did you know that Eminem is being cancelled for his lyrics back in the 90s?
Oh my god. He wasn't he an ally? He was like, fuck Trump and
Yeah, but he sings about he says the F slur.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. A lot of
and a lot of misogyny and stuff. So
yeah, have you heard the song Kim that is just about him murdering his wife?
Yes, that specifically is one of the ones that were being cancelled.
It's you have to separate art from the artist. Kim is still alive in real life, and you know what? She was the bad one in that relationship.
It's like writing a diary. He just sings it.
Yeah.
Well, raps it.
And that song is amazing. Have you heard it?
Well, yeah, sometimes.
It's an amazing
I haven't listened to it recently, but I know which one it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, this movie would not work with Zoomers.
No, I don't think so.
It would probably work with millennials that aren't movie watchers like us.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Because millennials still have that concept of, separating reality from art.
And also realizing it's a product of its time.
Yes.
We talk a lot about that on my other podcast, which I guess this is a sneak premiere because we haven't actually put any episodes out yet, but we're doing a Nicolas Cage themed podcast called Madness in the Method, and we're talking a lot about like because his early movies are from like the early 80s, and some of them taking place in like 50s and 60s. So there's a lot of us talking about like how they're like portraying women and stuff, and like but it's a movie from the 80s, takes place in the 40s, so I would call it pretty progressive. A lot of that stuff.
You can change that.
No, exactly.
It's kind of like what's it called? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It takes place in the 70s.
69, but yeah, sure.
69, yeah. Like, you have to consider that they treated people differently back then, so they have to do that in the movie. They can't just put this century's like ways of thinking in a 70s movie. It doesn't make sense.
It should be as much as you can. Yeah, historically accurate.
Yeah, that's the word. Thank you.
And it's also I think it's a good thing. I think it could be good for people to watch a movie like this to realize that things were different back then, but we have progressed since.
Things have changed.
Yeah, and that's important so we don't erase history. Now this is like not a far right, but definitely like a right wing like point of view that we shouldn't erase history. But I'm I probably lean more right than I lean left, but I would consider myself somewhere in the middle. But it's good to preserve history. It's good to like have
Yeah,
books where they use the N word, and have
because we can learn from
have
it.
statues of people who were slave owners. Yeah, because I mean,
Well,
at least some of them, or at least put them in a museum.
yeah,
Maybe they don't have to be in parks anymore, but put them in a museum, because we need to learn from that time. Because if all that disappears, like if the remnants of history disappear, all the bad stuff disappears, like bigotry and hatred and racism is still going to exist in people's minds. I mean, humans will always be that way because we're humans. We're flawed.
yes. We need to learn from our mistakes, and if you don't know about the mistake, how will you
Yeah, then
learn?
how can we learn? Then all of a sudden, someone's just going to say, "Oh, the thing," and you're like, "Oh, well, what is that?" And you don't know
Yeah,
how to. Instead of saying, "No, you can't say that,"
you're
that's
not
a very
supposed to say
simplified.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's so like the whole trying to like erase that stuff, and trying to hold like artists and even movies accountable, even though a movie is just, it's not a living thing, but
It's an object.
yeah, and oh my god, the politics of this 1965 movie is so terrible, we should never watch it again. It's like, it's from 1965.
Also, if you stop watching it, it doesn't really matter because I don't think they get a lot of revenue anyways anymore.
Yeah, that's that too. So
Like the
I
production company isn't making money off it anymore, so you're not making an impact of not watching it. So
yeah. So I think it's important to keep watching movies like this. Now this one
yes,
isn't really that offensive, but I mean there is some
no,
offensive stuff. But in general, to keep watching old movies,
oh yeah,
and even if you find some of it offensive, that's fine. But I mean, there's
yeah,
still stuff you can appreciate in the movie. Like in this movie, the camera work, the acting,
yes,
the
yes,
editing, obviously, because it's so intense that even you pointed out. Even though
yes.
it's once again a movie about people sitting in cars and watching other people eat.
Old episodes where we talk about movies like this, I would not have understood that, but this one actually like pointed out to me in a very obvious yet discreet way.
Yeah, that's why we're doing classics as well. We haven't done a
Movie,
classic in a
obviously.
while, so
Oh,
it's good that we're doing this one.
yes.
Yeah. Um, I don't
This
know.
became a discussion of a lot of other things.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's about the movie as well, and
Maybe as well.
I guess there's not much more to talk about specifically about the movie. I mean, we can go into detail, but the big picture, I think we've said everything. Unless you have anything to add.
No, nothing specific.
Yeah,
I was surprised at how much I actually enjoyed it, to be
yeah.
honest.
I was surprised at how much you enjoyed it. I'm very happy you did. um,
You've broadened my what's it called?
Horizons, your
Yeah,
tastes.
I guess my taste. You're teaching me to appreciate movies in another way.
Yeah, that's what I've always wanted to do with my channel. So I'm glad it's happening, even though
It's
it's
working
on
for
a
one
smaller
person.
scale than I would have wished. But we're growing. We're growing.
We're growing. I mean, considering you started showing me movies when I was like 6,
Yeah.
we're finally getting somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Just took
20
20
years later.
years. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. We don't usually grade the movies, but if we would grade it on a 1 to 10 scale, what would you say?
I'm horrible at these. I always put them kind of high and then I change my mind. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely more than a 5 and a 6, probably. It's like
Oh yeah. I mean,
7 and a
you
half, maybe. 'Cause some stuff still kind of bothers me, like tiny things. Like it's a bit cringy to watch some of the slurs and stuff, and it is a bit confusing sometimes. So it's not
I
perfect. No movie is perfect.
no. Well, we'll have to do an episode on that at some point. There are perfect movies, believe me. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, I would put it like a strong, solid 8, maybe even a 9 for me. But I guess it's
It's also
slightly more
because
up my alley. This kind of movie.
yeah, it's also because of that, and I'm still kind of like it's an old movie. I don't always prefer them. I have a hard time watching old movies more than I have watching new movies
Yeah.
because like things like oh the quality is so bad. But yeah, it's from the
Ugh.
70s. What do you expect?
Yeah.
But if I could choose, I'd be like, nah, I'd probably watch a better quality just
Yeah.
because sometimes. Not always, sometimes though.
Yeah.
So I'm a 7-ish. 7, yeah. Maybe a bit more, 7.2 or something.
Yeah. And like I said, last strong 8 for me, solid 8. I wish we have had more movies like this nowadays, though. I mean, it's a good thing you mentioned Dragged Across Concrete, because I feel like Zoller, together with Tarantino and I don't know, Nolan and Scorsese are like,
Yeah.
there's probably more that I can't remember right now, but those are the big ones that, like, they're preserving this kind of filmmaking with their movies, really. Even if, some of them, specifically like Nolan, they do add some of modern stuff into it.
Yes.
But there's
But
this
they have the
sense of
essence
old,
of it.
yeah, but there's this sense of old timey cinema in their movies.
Yes.
So I enjoy that. And once again, anyone who hasn't seen Dragged Across Concrete, check it out. It has some amazing scenes of people saying slurs and people being assholes, and it's also a good movie. Other than that, I can't say it,
It's a bit long.
It's a little long. It's not Zoller's best movie because it is too long, but it's very good, very good. I was thinking of the scene. I can't say it, but when they shoot each other towards the end, and the guy says he says N-word to Mel Gibson, and Mel Gibson just looks at him and says, "Likewise." Oh, it's so good.
Oh, what?
Anyway, enough talk about Dragged Across Concrete. Ooh, I'm gonna watch that tonight. Anyway,
I'm gonna pump for tomorrow when we're going back to the cinemas for the first time.
Yes.
We did talk about doing some sort of patron exclusive vlog for that, didn't we?
Yes, we're gonna vlog our cinema experience as much as we can. It's not gonna be super exciting. It's gonna be us walking around in a mall, and then us sitting down to watch a movie. That's about it.
Yeah.
But it'll be on the Patreon page. So if you want to see it, check it out there. We'll hopefully try to, if it's popular, we'll do another one for our next visit, which is just going to be in a week or something.
Oh yeah.
Because we got to watch A Quiet Place Part 2. Fucking finally.
Finally.
A year later almost. Oh, it is a year later. It was
we'll
in
tell
May.
the story about that when we do the review.
Yes.
The discussion.
Yes. But that's what's coming. And next week, then, next Thursday, we're doing The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, because that's the movie we're going to watch. And I'm not sure what we're going to do this Monday for the Patreon exclusive, but you'll find out if you follow us and subscribe on Patreon, of course.
And we'll hint at it on our other socials, of course.
Yes, of course. But that's going to have to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. But until then, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.